So this video is actually made for all the commenters and the watchers of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. So if you're not a watcher or a commenter of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, then I recommend you check them out. I'll put a link over there somewhere. So for this video specifically, I'd like to speak to the commenters and the viewers of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, not so much the creators or anyone else, just the viewers for the time being. Now, I know that a lot of people have noticed that for the last 15 or even 20 videos, there's been a lot of debate about spoilers and whether they're okay and whether they're not okay, specifically in the context of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. And I think this is a good debate to have, but I'm not sure if the comments is the right place to do this. So I just want to get out what I feel and what I think about the whole spoiler situation on camera, and then that way we can start a discussion and debate that maybe isn't happening in the comments, because I think that the whole debate and the whole argument is really taking away from the series when we should be adding to it. So I think that this is a great conversation, but there's a better place to hold this, like on some of the forum or on some other In Your Pants maybe, but specifically in the Lizzie Bennet comments isn't the right place to be doing this. So I guess the logical place to start this discussion, at least from my point of view, is where I stand and what my opinion is on the spoilers as such. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it's unreasonable to call spoilers on a plot and on a story that has been around and has been published for almost 200 years, and here's why. Firstly, it's already been adapted into other literary works, like the Bridget Jones Diaries is based on Pride and Prejudice. You've also got plays and musicals and films and movies and TV series and web series and blog posts and web communities who all are there to speculate over the plot and the characters and to analyze different nuances and such. So it's unreasonable to call spoilers on a story that has been so influential over the last 200 years since it's been published. Even if you haven't read Pride and Prejudice, you've probably read something that has been influenced by Pride and Prejudice. A great portion of the romance industry, at least today, has been influenced by Austen's work, and I think it's unreasonable to call spoilers on something that's so mainstream, for lack of a better word, something that's so widely known. It's like calling spoilers on The Little Red Riding Hood or Cinderella. It's something that's already established in popular culture, and rightly so. I mean, it's a really great literary work. Secondly, it's a literary staple, and by literary staple I mean it's a book that is widely taught in high schools and universities around the world, in that it's one of those basic books that you use to analyze period romance and literary figures and character plots and character lines. It is widely taught in many high schools, and I know at least in England it's taught in GCSEs. I know that in Latin America and Panama it's taught within the world literature portion of the literature classes during your 11th year, so 5th year. And for that reason as well, it's a literary staple, and if it's a staple, then you can't prevent or even expect, you can't prevent people from using it in their everyday lives and everyday conversations and everyday comparisons, because it's already sort of been instilled in us since we're very young. Finally, you can't call spoilers on a spoiler. If you think about it, the Lizzie Bennet Diaries is just a massive spoiler for Pride and Prejudice. It's like reading the Cliff Notes version, because you're just basically consuming an interpretation. And for everyone who's calling, oh my gosh, stop the spoilers for everyone who hasn't read it, well, if they haven't bothered to read it, but they're watching Pride and Prejudice or the Lizzie Bennet Diaries, then they obviously don't care about the spoilers, because they're actively seeking to consume a spoiler. You can't argue that you have to prevent people from talking about the plot in the comments, because the people who are watching these videos and haven't actually read the books are actively looking and seeking the spoilers. It just doesn't make sense to argue that. So anyway, that's just what I think. I'm sure that there are people that will inevitably disagree with me. Feel free to leave me a video response and I will try to make a blog and we can talk about it, we can discuss it, maybe we can even come to a compromise, but I just don't think it's fair, personally. That's just me. I am willing to listen to other people's comments and argue with them and debate with them and defend myself and try to understand, but that's just me. Anyway, have a nice day everyone.